Good afternoon, everyone. This is Edmund Lau. I'm a clinical psychologist with the Psychological Services Group, Hong Kong Police Force. Next to me is my colleague, Dr. Alison. Today, we are going to present to you a resilience program for police officers done in the second half of 2020 and early 2021, called Decoding Social Unrest for Tideriders. Tideriders come from the name of the operation, which is Operation Tiderider, used by the force during the social movement in 2019. There was an anti-extradition law amendment bill movement happening in June 2019 in Hong Kong, and the challenge faced by the Hong Kong police force was unprecedented. The police force suffered from an immense amount of stress, affecting their morale and mental health to a considerable degree. Among the stresses were prolonged operations and long hours of work, life threat from escalating violence, doxing, threat to spouse and children, fake and biased news against police, social relationship split, hostile attitude from friends and the community. According to our survey done in late 2019 and early 2020, with 363 frontline officers, 36.9% of our subjects reported suffering from sleep disturbance, 12.1% reported depressive symptoms at a very severe level, and 23.4% reported post-traumatic stress symptoms. In Chinese saying, we can break down the phase crisis, 危機, into two components, danger and opportunity. Our program is to help our frontline officers recover from the painful experience and take the opportunity to grow and become a more resilient person.
There is a concept in psychology with similar meaning to crisis. It is post-traumatic growth. It refers to positive psychological change experience as a result of struggling with highly stressful or traumatic life circumstances. It often happens naturally, but it can also be facilitated in a few ways. First, education. Trauma challenges our core belief system, and we are forced to rethink who we are and what world we live in. Through this so-called education process, we build up a more adaptive belief system. Second, emotional regulation. It's about managing our emotions related to the trauma and use active strategy to regulate these emotions. Third, disclosure, or sharing of own experience and struggles. Articulating these things help us to make sense of the trauma and facilitate more productive reflections. Fourth, narrative. Producing an authentic story about the trauma helps us to accept the painful reality and find meaning in the experience. Based on these ideas and our observations of our police officers, we think that a suitable resilient program should have the following considerations. First, we adopt a workshop approach that is experiential and interactive and involves psychoeducation and sharing of officers. Second, to facilitate officers making sense of the incident, the content of the workshop should be comprehensive and should cover personal to occupational level and to a greater context like the social unrest and Hong Kong situation in the world. Third, to help officers to reflect on the impact of the social unrest, we have to use other knowledge like social movement theories, media and communication in cyber world, and geopolitics. And psychologists alone cannot give such a comprehensive picture, so we invite other experts in the force to share their observations on the social unrest. So they are crime officer, expert on cyber technology and crime, police negotiation cadre, and officers from police public relations branch.
We then constructed our program in the form of workshops, according to the model with the purpose of strengthening our officers' resilience and facilitating their post-traumatic growth, empowering them to discharge their police duties in a professional manner during difficult times. There are two components in our program, know thyself and know others. According to our famous Chinese philosopher, Xunzi, you can win every battle when you know both yourself and the opposite side well. 知己知彼，百戰百勝. On knowing thyself, we help our officers to address the impact of the operation at the personal level and facilitate their adjustments in the areas of emotional regulation, interpersonal relationships, and finding meaning as a police officer. On knowing others, we help them make sense of the social unrest from multiple perspectives and increase their knowledge of the psychology of protesters and social movements and the role of social media and geopolitics in such movements. Our workshop started from May 2020, and there are two versions, 1.0 and 2.0. Altogether, there were 44 workshops done with 5,500 officers present in them. Owing to the very positive feedback from the participants, we also produced a training video containing its main points and important messages extracted from the workshops and show it to all police officers during training days. Now we would like to show you a video which captures some of the highlights of our program.
大家都應該揀咗一張令自己有強烈感覺或者係印象嘅相。喺開始小組分享之前，我想邀請各位有一個安靜嘅時刻，去認真睇一睇同埋感受一下你揀咗嘅呢一幅相。
社會心理學點樣解構社會矛盾嘅現象呢？第二回內外群體偏差 In-group and out-group bias。 喺呢一種偏差之下，你我唔需要深交，我哋仍然會以一丁點嘅共同點去建立身份嘅認同，建立自己人嘅感覺，成為內群體 In-group。 就好似喺香港最近嘅社會運動當中，呢一個內外群體偏差嘅現象就好明顯啦。
發現咧有樣嘢咧叫做3N 模式3N model， 咁咧就由3個 N 組成嘅。咁嗰陣咧逐個 N 同大家講下，亦都講下咧原來每個 N 背後咧都會引發一啲心理嘅現象。
呢個咧係operation 話呢個嘅 Tideriders 編織其後做啲咩嘢咧？就係、我哋由係9月開始，我哋一共見咗236位被捕人士。我哋 KC 係同佢傾個偈，你估佢哋有幾 percent 嘅人咧係肯同你傾啊？97%嘅係人係願意同你傾嘅，你都同佢傾幾耐 ？average 你咁呢個女仔就離開咗呢個練習室，佢就去做 band 咯。佢問我唔係想話你啲咩嘢，我係想講咧，我想叫你啲前線嘅同事小心，叫做勇武，嗰啲人係會傷害你啲同事嘅。我擔心你啲同事受傷。我去到呢一度咧，我突然間咧，我好震撼。佢1個幾2個鐘頭之前，佢話佢好憎警察，呢一世都唔會同佢講嘢。但係喺之後，佢唔止關心，即係唔知俾我約出嚟喎，佢仲關心埋我啲同事。
我嚟緊咧講落去嘅嘢咧，就係我哋講 Tideriders 嘅另外一面，特別咧係網絡世界睇翻落去，你會睇到一啲你喺地面上都睇唔到嘅嘢。OK， 第一樣嘢嘅分別咧，我講咧就係呢個起底。而我成日都同人講咧，呢個起底咧，嗱你知啦，即係好多人講話香港好咪言論自由，有咩唔應該干預個法庭啊咩，但我可以同大家講咧，其實呢個起底咧係一個好強嘅 weapon。咁所以我想講咧，好多我哋見到 Tideriders 嘅，你以為係單一事件，但係其實你再左右背後一伸高個頭望咧，周邊發生嘅嘢係直接同我哋有關。
而喺知己嘅層面，我哋要了解自己嘅死穴。超人都有弱點啦，我哋要知道自己情緒嘅臨界點。
去完嗰個工作坊之後，我見啲同事已經自動咁有好大嘅改變，已經唔使再叫到同事冷靜，因為佢哋知道呢班示威者係想打擊我哋，係有目的嘅，咁啊由得佢哋咁樣做咯。我啲伙計都冇咩反應，做翻自己要做嘅嘢咯，冇再俾佢哋咁樣激親啊、挑釁到，咁樣大家嘅心情都好好多。
香港嘅大環境已經變咗，作為警務人員，我哋可以抱住咩心態去面對？
我哋當初做呢一行嘅原因係點解呢？
只要我哋堅持我哋嗰個初心信念，點解自己做一個警察？
要學識一樣嘢咧，係去接納，
唔會係因為你係黃或者藍而 provide 我哋嘅 service 嘅。你有需要我哋幫手嘅時候咧，我哋係會盡心盡力去做，呢個亦都係我哋嘅天職。
過去2年，我哋經歷咗一個大時代，大家喺艱難之中守住香港。呢個家能唔能夠繼續安穩落去，就有賴大家嘅忠誠勇毅同智慧。
Now, I would like to talk about the feedback and outcome of the DSUT. Generally speaking, the positive feedback from the workshop participants are far beyond our expectations. Informally, we receive overwhelmingly positive comments from officers through WhatsApp after each workshop. They like the workshops, find it useful to adjust their mindset and better prepare for the operation. They also like the sharing from the guest speakers, helping them to rethink about the social unrest. Formally, we collect participants' feedback through an online platform. After each workshop, the data we collect show that they agree that the workshop was useful in helping them to process the impact of the social unrest. As you can see, this is a part of knowing thyself in DSUT 1.0. Green and blue bars indicate the percentage of participants that give high ratings, and similar findings in the part of knowing thyself in DSUT 2.0. This is a summary of the above results. In the part of knowing thyself, more than 70% of participants agree that the workshop helped them to release feelings and manage emotions and understand how to manage their stress, and help them to understand how the social unrest affect relationship splits. And about 65% agree that the workshop helped them to readjust their mindset and devote to police work again. The positive results in the part of knowing others in both DSUT 1.0 and 2.0 are even more obvious. To sum up the results in the part of knowing others, over 80% of participants agree that the workshop helped them to understand the mindset of different types of protesters, help them to understand the challenge faced by the force posed by the social unrest, and help frontline officers to handle protests more effectively.
Now, what have we learned from the program? After enduring so much stress after taking part in large-scale police operations, it is important to provide a safe space in which officers can express and process their emotions and negative experiences. It is also helpful to add a cognitive component to help officers to understand and to make sense of the social unrest from multiple perspectives, so that they can appreciate more the meaning and mission of their role in the operation. It is necessary to take care of family members who are often an important source of good morale and resilience. We suggest that it is better to prepare family members well in advance of large-scale operations. Last but not least, communication within the organization during crisis is often difficult, but vital to its agility and resilience. On this, we invited different experts in our program to bring synergy to achieve a team-building effect, which was very helpful with boosting pride, morale, and a sense of belonging. This is the end of the presentation. Thank you very much.